today on Good Morning BU. And it's Earth Day. We update you on the events happening around campus and Boston commemorating the environment.
And protesters rally around abortion rights. Political correspondent Bella Ramirez spoke to organizers and protesters at last week's rights protest.
And Marathon Monday has come and gone, but how did businesses cope with the increased attention? Kara Smith visited some business owners on ComAv to find out.
And there's lots of celebrity sightings around New England. Our entertainment correspondent, Stephanie Joseph, gives us the latest in pop culture updates.
Live from Studio West in the College of Communication, welcome to GMBU. I'm Chloe Liu.
And I'm Alex Dowd. We want to start our show this morning by addressing an article published by the Daily Free Press last night. Good Morning BU is aware of allegations of sexual misconduct outlined against BU professor and BU TV 10 advisor Christopher Cavallari. These allegations include mentions of inappropriate touching and offensive language. Professor Cavallari did not respond to these allegations in that report.
In the interest of transparency, we want you to know that Professor Cavallari has served in an advising role for this show throughout its run. However, we will monitor these reports, and out of respect for ethical norms, Professor Cavallari will not be included in any reporting on this topic going forward.
So the MBTA riders can leave their masks at home for their train rides, the MBTA announced this week. This comes after a Florida federal judge struck down the transportation mask mandate earlier this week, leaving the decision to uphold the mandate in the hands of individual states and organizations. MBTA officials say Boston-based passengers will always have the option of wearing their masks, while BU students are still mandated to wear theirs on campus shuttles. BU has no plans to repeal the BU shuttle mandate, still requiring mask wearing on the BU bus.
As experts warn of a national labor shortage, the Massachusetts Education Recruiting Consortium hosted its 47th annual career fair in the George Sherman Union yesterday. Hundreds of aspiring educators had the opportunity to meet with over 80 school districts from around the country looking to fill open seats. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that the education system has lost over 500,000 educators since the start of the pandemic. Merck Executive Chair Junior Delgado said the event allowed recruiters the opportunity to access new talent.
At a critical juncture in time where educational systems are looking for talent, this event brings people together from all over New England, including those districts and organizations that come from across the country. They value this event because they've had great success here.
The GSU also played host to BU's Sustainability Earth Day Festival yesterday. Dozens gathered in the GSU's main court for the event, where both student groups and local businesses could sell goods and promote a more sustainable lifestyle. Visitors also played games and were offered free samples of food by vendors. Siddharth Valcheka, a sustainability intern and BU grad student, said the festival played an important role in supporting sustainability on campus.
I think we're at a critical point in our life when not just BU, but everyone needs to take a step to promote sustainability.
About how folks around the city are commemorating Earth Day. Evan, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Chloe. I'm here at Park Street Station where in just a few hours, hundreds will be gathering for a rally and march to protest the state's environmental justice policies. The rally, titled People, Planet, and Peace Over Profit, is being hosted by Mass Peace Action, a Massachusetts-based peace organization. It'll feature speakers like former presidential candidate Jill Stein and has over 20 sponsors. The rally is actually a partnership between Mass Peace Action and Extinction Rebellion Boston, who are hosting their own event in Copley Square later on in the day. After a 1 p.m. start, protesters will march down Boylston Street to join up with the Extinction Rebellion team at about 3:30.
So, Evan, what else can you tell us about this Extinction Rebellion event? How did this partnership come about?
So Extinction Rebellion are hosting what they call a Freedom from Fossil Fuels tour. The protesters will march around Boston, stopping off at the various headquarters of businesses that they say are fueling an over-reliance on oil and gas. As for the relationship, I spoke with Mass Peace Action staff organizer Amar Ahmad, and he described a sort of synergy between the two groups. They share very similar ideologies and have actively supported each other's events. Ahmad said that they have grown that small group into a coalition of over 22 supporting groups, and they hope that will turn into a big turnout later today. Chloe?
Thanks, Evan. Coming up next on GMBU, protesters challenged Massachusetts legislators on abortion rights. Bella Ramirez was on scene at the State House to find out more.
And how were local businesses affected by the Boston Marathon? Kiara Smith spoke with some local owners to find out.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly.
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Hey, Gabby, how you doing? How's the play date and sleepover?
Dad, it was great.
Awesome. Okay, I'm on my way.
Hey, guys, what are you doing?
We're going swimming. We're going biking. Yeah!
I'll see you in a little bit, guys. I love you.
Hi, babe. How was school today?
Hi, Dad. It was great.
Okay, honey. I'll be home soon. Remember, you're never too far away from your kids to be a dad. Reach out and take a second to check in, because sometimes the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
And welcome back. Bella Ramirez is on the scene at the Rise Up for Abortion Rights rally in the Boston Public Garden in the wake of the upcoming Supreme Court decision that could potentially overturn Roe v. Wade.
Rise Up for Abortion Rights met on April 9th in Boston Common to rally for abortion rights. Reproductive justice is becoming a growing concern as the Supreme Court considers its decision for the Mississippi abortion case later this year.
In fact, the Supreme Court has heard a case and they're going to be announcing their decision sometime in the spring as to whether or not they're going to overturn Roe v. Wade. So it's a critical time for people to be out sort of saying, no, you can't do that. You can't overturn Roe v. Wade. We're here to stop that.
Although Massachusetts has stronger abortion rights laws, protesters banded together fighting for the rights on a national and international scale, touting green bandanas akin to abortion rights activists in Argentina.
Think about all of the women who are facing potential death. Look at all of these states already, about 26 states. If Roe goes down, they're putting in draconian laws, criminalizing women, criminalizing providers. And you have to ask yourself, all of those people who say, oh, I don't have to worry because I'm in Massachusetts, are you okay with that?
Currently, 21 states already have laws in place called trigger laws, which act to limit abortion rights if Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey gets repealed. This means no legislative action would be required. Right to abortion would be removed instantaneously in these states if the Supreme Court acts.
I think right now, people who do not think that abortion is a moral choice are emboldened by the chemistry of the Supreme Court. And there are a number of states that are clearly, purposefully pushing the envelope in terms of Supreme Court precedent in anticipation that the status of the law will change. And I think it's a particularly precarious moment because in reality, women of means will be able to get the care that they need. It is poor women, women of color, very young women who will suffer from the kind of policymaking that's occurring right now that limits access to abortion. And it happens that the states that are enacting these kinds of laws are also states that don't have strong social safety nets. So people who will be giving birth when they wouldn't want to otherwise will also be facing a life without assistance, potentially.
Professor Hubert describes the symbolic importance of going out to protest.
There's an expressive value to protests and rallies. I think it demonstrates that this is an issue that politicians should be paying attention to. Often the political actions don't match what the polling shows. Polling shows that a majority of Americans support legal and safe access to abortion up to the point of viability. The majority of Americans support legal and safe access to all kinds of contraception, including long-acting contraception. These things are not controversial, and they shouldn't be in this day and age. And so I think the value of raising voices and making voices heard is making it clear that those polls are accurate, that they're not one-offs, that they're not outliers. It makes it understood that this is actually what the populace wants.
Students like senior Molly Baker, president of Students for Reproductive Freedom, feel shocked that abortion rights may still be on the chopping block after years of fighting for them.
And it's just, I mean, it's really crazy to me that like there are people at those marches that are like older than my mom and have been fighting for abortion access for like their whole lives. And that we're still talking about the same thing, because there are a lot more aspects to reproductive health that are like online. And abortion should just be, you know, guaranteed all the time.
Rather than being shocked, Sanchez offers action over shares and likes to tackle the issue.
There has never been a significant social movement in this country ever without people in the streets fighting for it. Even Roe v. Wade, when that was passed, that was not a liberal Supreme Court. That was because people, women, and people who care about women and girls were in the streets fighting.
Reporting for Good Morning BU, I'm Bella Ramirez, Boston, Massachusetts.
The U.S. is sending an additional $800 million in military assistance to Ukraine, President Biden announced yesterday. This statement comes as the Russia-Ukraine conflict enters what he calls a, quote, critical window before the next phase of the war. As Russia refocuses its campaign to seize new territory in eastern Ukraine, Biden says new shipments of Western military aid are essential to sustain Ukrainian defense efforts. The president will make a formal request to Congress next week to approve a second aid package to keep weapons, ammunition, and economic assistance flowing into Ukraine. Biden also announced that the U.S. is taking, quote, another critical step by banning Russian-affiliated ships from American ports. The Biden administration believes that continued U.S. assistance could make a big difference as Russia continues to ramp up on its assault on eastern Ukraine.
Now they've launched and refocused their campaign to seize new territory in eastern Ukraine. And we're in a critical window now of time where they're going to set the stage for the next phase of this war.
And former U.S. President Barack Obama spoke at Stanford University Thursday about his growing concerns regarding social media and the spread of disinformation. Obama, who has remained relatively private following his two-term presidency from 2008 to 2016, has been vocal in recent months about the dangers of social media, their algorithms, and the falsehoods they can spread.
You have the power to move things in the right direction. You can advocate for change. You can be part of this redesign. And if not, you can vote with your feet and go work with companies that are trying to do the right thing.
Governor Charlie Baker revealed a new $3.5 billion economic bill yesterday that is meant to help transition Massachusetts out of the pandemic. The bill will make investments to improve state infrastructure, create jobs, and provide funding to all 351 cities in Massachusetts. The legislation, also known as the Forward Bill, will also put the Heinz Convention Center up for sale, with proceeds directed towards housing development in the Back Bay area. Baker said in a Thursday press conference that the bill will help the state move forward as we continue to a virus-free world.
We believe with local support and locals being able to use some of their federal resources, we think this puts Massachusetts in the best possible position to come out of this pandemic and to do a lot of the really important work we need to do, especially with respect to downtown development as we move forward.
And Boston Mayor Michelle Wu announced on Thursday that the city is relaunching a fund in support of equity for Boston's contracting. The fund allocates $800,000 to aid small businesses as they build their capacity. The goal of this fund, originally launched by former Mayor Marty Walsh, is to provide financial assistance to businesses in order to increase the number and availability of certified businesses. City Chief of Economic Opportunity and Inclusion Sigan Idowu said launching this fund is an important way to address business inequality, particularly between businesses owned by women and people of color. Since February, Boston has allotted 25% of the annual spending goals to minority and women-owned businesses.
And former Fall River Mayor Jazel Correa II is set to report to a federal medium security prison in New Hampshire. The court rejected his request for a delay. Correa will report to prison on Friday to begin a 6-year sentence after a federal appellate court refused his request for a delay last Wednesday. The former mayor was convicted last year for defrauding investors in a smartphone app and for extorting money from marijuana companies. 10 charges were ultimately pressed, leaving 11 convictions to stand. And coming up next, Kiara Smith discusses how Boston restaurants prepared for the Boston Marathon.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
The earthquakes you see in movies are one thing, but real life is a completely different animal. Just because you can't predict an earthquake doesn't mean that you can't prepare for one. In the event of a real earthquake, you should drop, cover, and hold on. Visit ready.gov/earthquake and practice what to do to keep you and your family safe in the event of a real earthquake. And you'll be seen as a hero by your family and your loved ones.
Visit ready.gov/earthquake today.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Welcome back. GMBU correspondent Kiara Smith sat down with local business owners to discuss how they prepared for the Boston Marathon.
During the Boston Marathon, some restaurants will see a business boom as visitors pile up into the city for the big event. El Palon Taqueria is one of them.
People just want to get out of like the epicenter of like the whole action, and then they just walk towards us. So we definitely see a lot of like people visiting from out of town, a lot of people that they used to live in Boston and then they came for the marathon, and then they want to like come and visit us.
Other businesses on the outskirts of the marathon, like Brown Sugar Cafe, is also expecting a traffic increase.
A lot of people came to this event, so it's really a lot of people come, and business is good for the business, especially for the restaurant.
The Greater Boston Visitors and Convention Bureau says the marathon generates about $200 million into the local economy.
It's always that great moment in spring where all of the businesses that touch the visitor economy, so hotels, like restaurants, theater, like tour attractions, museums, like, you know, all those segments that in some way rely on visitors, they all start to see an uptick in business around this period.
The Boston Athletic Association says the marathon brings in about 500,000 visitors, bringing business to many restaurants. Kiara Smith reporting for BUTV.
Kiara, coming up next, sports correspondent Addison Cummings gives us the latest updates in sports.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Welcome back. Next up, we have GMBU's correspondent Addison Cummings with the latest in sports. What can you tell us, Addison?
Thanks, Chloe. While the 126th Boston Marathon flooded Commonwealth Avenue and dominated the headlines, the BU spring sports teams were extremely active this week. As the semester comes to a close, some seasons are winding down, while others are still in full swing. For starters, BU softball has swung and pitched their way to a 20-game win streak. Their most recent victory came against crosstown rivals Boston College. In unfamiliar fashion, this one took the Terriers 11 innings to get the job done, as sophomore shortstop Kayla Ronson hit a walk-off single to bring BU softball field to its feet. The team remains undefeated in conference play and now holds the league record for longest ever win streak. Only Arizona State has a longer active win streak than the Terriers, and only Oklahoma has a longer win streak at home. BU will have the chance to grab wins 21, 22, and 23 in a row as they head to Hamilton, New York for a weekend series with the Colgate Raiders. While the softball season is heating up, the women's golf team wrapped up conference play last weekend at the U.S. Naval Academy golf course. The Patriot League Championship came down to the wire, but the Terriers took first place by a single shot, edging out Richmond by a final of 928 strokes to 929. Sophomore Flair Quan sank the winning putt to clinch BU's third-team title. Quan was exceptional all weekend, winning the Patriot League individual trophy in the process as well as Patriot League Golfer of the Year. As BU continues to search for an answer at head coach, they've found their answers for the upcoming season's leadership group. After the off-season departures of Alex Vlasic, Ty Monte, and Robert Mastro-Simeone is leaning on senior defenseman Dom Fensore, who will become the 123rd player to captain the Terriers. Alongside him will be fellow seniors Case McCarthy and Jay O'Brien, who will serve as assistant captains. That's all for BU Sports. Back to you, Chloe.
Thanks, Addison. Still to come on GMBU, entertainment correspondent Stephanie Joseph gives us the latest in pop culture news.
They said I have troll teeth.
That my voice sounded like a possessed baby doll.
That no one would ever love someone as stupid as me.
That I was fat, ugly,
Disgusting.
The effect of bullying is potent.
We will no longer be the silent majority.
Now, when you see online bullying, there's something you can do about it.
We're gonna take action with the I.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness.
I am a witness, and so are you.
Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Hey, guys.
Welcome back. Our entertainment correspondent, Stephanie Joseph, is here with our latest trend report. Stephanie, what do you have for us?
It's been a star-studded week in Boston that kicked off on Saturday with Steven Tyler and his son dining at the Barking Crab in Seaport. The Aerosmith singer was spotted again on Wednesday, but this time at the Alba on 53 Steakhouse in Hanover. Looking for a chance to rub elbows with A-listers like these? Well, Bradley Cooper and Zendaya could help with that. Cooper is looking for extras from Western Massachusetts for his upcoming Netflix film, Maestro. Filming starts in Tanglewood from May 21st to the 26th, according to a post on projectcasting.com. Be sure to head over to the site to learn more. Zendaya's upcoming film, Challengers, is in need of New England-based lookalikes. CP Casting posted 3 listings to inquire about extras and scenes, sports nutritionists, and doubles for Zendaya and 2 male leads. Filming is scheduled for early May. On a somber note, the wanted boy band member Tom Parker was laid to rest on Wednesday in a ceremony with close family and friends. The 33-year-old singer died in March after a years-long battle with a stage 4 brain cancer known as glioblastoma. Back in the U.S., the Flash actor, Ezra Miller, was arrested in Hawaii on Tuesday for second-degree assault. Miller allegedly threw a chair after refusing to leave a residential meetup when asked. The chair reportedly hit a 26-year-old woman, leaving her with a cut on her forehead. This comes weeks after Miller's first arrest in the same state. That's all from me here for this week's Trend Report. Back to you, Alex and Chloe.
Thanks, Steph. And that'll do it for GMBU this week.
Coming up next week, we'll sit down with BU alumni to discuss their podcast.
On behalf of all of us here at Good Morning BU, thank you as always for watching. I'm Chloe Liu.
And I'm Alex Dowd. Stay safe and have a wonderful weekend.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Looks like it's done.